So I'm really thankful for how you set up these calls with thinking of a gratitude and thinking of just ask the question, because I've actually tried to like be focusing on that. Like I've written my question down to save
Good,
me distracted.
good.
And one of the things I'm also thankful for is I had something of an aha yesterday of I think I've been thinking of selling the vehicle, even though I know that's not what it's about. And so even when we're focusing on the transformation, actually it was like an aha moment of wait a second, I'm talking about the vehicle. So thank you for all of your
Of
teaching
course.
around that. So my question, and feel free to ask me any follow-ups, but in the interest of brevity, I have written it down. And I think it follows on nicely from what we've spoken about anyhow. So people who are delaying even getting started on what they feel they'd love to do, as well as what they feel they have to do, is this specific enough of an audience?
No.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that in all honesty. Like I'm thinking getting started is my niche. Like I really wanted to help people with that first step, but I'm aware of how broad that is because people want to start a million and one things, right? So any idea how I can hone in that bit more, please?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you see it. And I only gave such a direct answer because we've worked together before, so I can be super direct. But um, getting started, the question I have is on what, right? So I'm looking around the room here and I'm like, somebody here might want to get started on a weight loss journey. Somebody here might want to get started on starting a family. Somebody might want to get started on starting a business. So it's like there's so many things we can get started on. So as uncomfortable as it will feel, I would encourage you to pick one thing,
Mhm.
stick with the one thing, go with it, build it, and maybe over time, you know how we say like earn your right to go wide, maybe over time you bring in more elements. So I always use examples like Starbucks. So everyone use the chat box. What did Starbucks start with? Got to get it right. Or are you going to make me look bad? Coffee. Okay. But now they sell sandwiches and cake pops and tea and lemonades and all sorts of stuff, right? Nike started with sneakers, but now they sell clothing and sports equipment and so forth. Victoria's Secret started with bras, and now they have sweatpants and body spray and makeup and stuff. So when you're talking about helping people get started, you have to pick a with what.
Mm. Yeah.
And then over time, if you want to bring in sweatpants and body glitter and whatever, basketballs, right? Like, but like, what's the thing that you're going to help them get started with?
Yeah, and I don't know the answer to that in the short answer, it basically, but if I mull that over that bit more, is it specific enough if it's them within a particular field to market it as the getting started? But then I feel like if I'm marketing it as the getting started, then I'm focusing on the vehicle because the vehicle is start, rather than the transformation of everything that happens once you've started and let momentum build.
You're correct on that. So what we want to focus on is the transformation, where they want to go. So them not starting is part of the problem. That's what they're challenged by. But where do they want to go? So if someone isn't getting started on the business, they likely want a business. They want the income. They want the freedom. If someone wants the weight loss journey, they likely want to feel confident in their own skin or lose the, pounds after the baby was born or whatever. So it's like, where do they want to go? And that's what you would need to get really clear on. I don't think she's on anymore, but Hannah was on here before. She is on. She just has camera off. Hannah is an Empower graduate. She's actually one of our Empower coaches. She's been around for a couple of years with us. There she is. What's up, cutie patootie? So Hannah comes to mind because a lot of the work that she does is similar, where she helps people get unstuck. She helps people start. She helps them get unstuck. But her messaging is not about getting unstuck. Her messaging is about the thing they want to get unstuck from. So who's the them? She works with a lot of entrepreneurs. And what do they want to get unstuck from? It's they want to be able to have the autonomy in their business, be making the money in their business, have compassion for themselves while they're building their business. They want to impact more lives, right? So like she's super clear on the end result, but yeah, how she's getting there is you're doing it again. You're stuck. You're not taking action. Let me help you, right? But she's not really talking about that so much, even though her signature program is called Unstuck.
Yeah, I get that. I do think there's a lot of similarities in
Yeah,
what we're thinking of. And I guess it's just part of it is about like the be do have model of wanting them to start being the person that they long to be literally from where they are today. So if it's that there's a cause they're really passionate about, what can they do? If you you could start your own charity, but even if you can't go that far, could you donate? Could you do something in the day to day? If you're liking
Sure.
animals or people, can you do something
But the
saving?
beauty you have is the vehicle.
Yeah,
That's how you're teaching them to do it. But I want
yeah.
to know what it is. Are you helping me make more money? Are you helping me lose weight? Are you helping me build a birdhouse? Are you helping me start a computer programming company? Are you helping me build an agency? Are you helping me dye my hair? Like there's got
I
to
know
be, yeah,
exactly. I get that it sounds so broad. It's just, I really do believe so much in the power of that first step, because if you tell people that you have to do so many things, or I know that you're not a fan of the kind of anti-hustle culture or something like that, but I think that if you encourage people that all you've got to do is that first step, and at least something's got done, and something's better than nothing, but B, it becomes just so much easier once you've done that first step. And I
yes,
just
I
don't know.
agree with you. But here's the thing. We have a lot of business owners in here. Raise your hand if your camera's on, just like so I can see you. Raise your hand if you own a business, like a coaching service, whatever. Okay. Is part of the process of what you teach people in your company business coaching services that they have to take action? Raise your hand if it is. Okay, it's going to be 100% across the board.
Yeah.
But I'm looking around the room and I'm like, okay, what I do, because it's also the same for me, is very different than what Tiffany does, is very different than what Robert teaches, is very different than what Michelle is doing. I'm not sure. I don't know Katrina. I'm assuming it's not the same thing as me, right? So um you have to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any guidance for where I go with that? Do I just reflect on it more?
I
Is
wouldn't
that
reflect on it too much because the irony is that you're not starting. So if you sit in this indecision, I know it's difficult when we're coming to the table and we don't feel that there's like one particular skill or certification that we have, or maybe it's like, I didn't go to school for this one thing. So you're shooting from the hip, as they say, where you're like, can do it. Because I know when you came through Empower, it was like home organization and we were talking about that, and it's evolved and changed. So I would just see, otherwise, you're really just blanketing yourself out as more like life coaching, which is okay, but it's not clear. It's still not clear, because even if I were to hire a life coach, it needs to be like, this person is certified in life coaching and they're going to help me through this divorce. They're going to help me through a career transition. They're going to help me through, I don't know, being a foster mom. Like there's still something super clear that I'm going to hire you for, because most of us are like, we're not just going to hire you to help me start. Like, I don't need you. That's what
yeah,
my brain thinks. Like, I don't need you to start. I just need to start. So I'm not going
yeah,
to pay you for that. Then you fall into the bucket almost as like an accountability coach, which is a thing, and you can do that. But again, you need to be really clear on what that is, though. It's accountability for what? And generally it starts for people with, so even Coach Mary, who you got to work with, Coach MT, she now has evolved a lot more, does a lot of like hypno breath work, hypnotherapy, EFT tapping, all that type of stuff. But she started as an accountability coach, but it was specific. It was like accountability for people who wanted to, make health a priority. And then all of a sudden it was like accountability for people in their careers. And then it was accountability for, she did a TED Talk and she was helping people do TED Talks. And then she wrote a book and it was like helping people with writing a book. So her focus has shifted on how she's helping people with accountability. That's where you just need to pick a lane. And I can't pick it for you.
I know. I don't expect you to pick it, so I don't want me to, be asking you what the answer is. It's just, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a bit of a ironic place, because you obviously don't want to sit in it too long in just the creative space where you're not actually taking action, but you don't, want to just be too broad and vague and stuff. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it was just asking your advice on how you get that clarity, but I think it's just, I don't know. Some people, I know you've always said like not to follow your passion. Like, passion is, do you know what I mean? That super intense, like you word it better than I, but that uncontrolled emotion or something. You're like, who wants to have their business beyond that?
Yes.
But then I know that some people say, no, just go on your passion. So it's just a bit confusing at times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just tune into yourself. For the
Yeah.
record, I don't say don't follow your passion.
No,
I
I
don't,
know it.
yeah, no, I want to clarify for everyone else. We shouldn't be building our businesses based on passion, because passion is uncontrollable emotion and our passion changes all the time. It's like 1 month, like who on the internet has not seen right now, everybody's making bread. The whole internet is like making sourdough. It's like gotten out of control. And that's cool for right now. But 6 months ago, those same people who are making bread today maybe we're trying to learn guitar, or wanted to like learn how to paint, we're learning Spanish, we're just Netflix, binging a show on Netflix. Our passion is constantly changing. So we can't just build businesses based on passions. The other problem with building on passion is that the passion will die out, it will burn out, and you'll no longer be interested in your business, and then you're going to want to pivot. And then you become like this pivot king or queen. And every time you're pivoting, you're starting from zero again. And pivoting is actually, it can be really detrimental to your business. It's almost sometimes seen as quitting. It's like, oh, it didn't work, so I'm going to pivot. And now you're just sort of quitting and giving up, and you're starting back from zero, whether it's on your messaging or your followers or your engagement or whatever. It's like going back to zero again. And the other thing that I would say about passion, and I'm just speaking from experience, is when you start a business, it is a job. Period. I was a personal trainer for 18 years, training celebrities, and a lot of my clients would come in and they would do training sessions, or they would come to class. And I saw this for 2 decades. Oh my God, I love SoulCycle so much. I want to get certified to be a SoulCycle instructor. It's my favorite thing in the world. Okay, cool. You become certified. And now guess what? You're never taking that Thursday 5 p.m. class ever again, because now you're teaching during that time. And now it is a job, and now you have to work it. I'm not saying you can't still love it. I loved being a trainer, but people would be like, oh my God, you're so lucky. You're like in the gym all day. It's like, yeah, but what does that actually mean? I barely have time for my own workouts. It's the last place that I want to be. I need to change the environment to do my own workouts, because I'm so sick and tired of this place that I've been in for 12 hours today. It sucks the fun out of it, right? So this is where I oscillate between, like, you should be passionate about your work. You should be passionate about your purpose, but I'm not building a business on my passion. My passion is for me. My passions and my hobbies are for me, right? And when people will push back and say like, oh, my business just doesn't light me up anymore. I'm like, well, then you need to restructure parts of your business. You don't just blow it all up and do something different. You can, but your business does not exist to ignite your soul on fire. That is not why businesses exist. Businesses exist to solve problems, and we are given money in exchange for solving those problems. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a water bottle company or a coaching service. This water bottle company, this water bottle exists to solve the problem of, I need to carry my water around with me. And do I care if it's cold or hot or whatever? It has this cool, thing that opens here, and it has this handle. This exists to solve a problem. The company, these people in this company, I'm talking to everyone right now, like, they're not lit up every day. I assure you that they are not lit up every day about this water bottle. The CEO, the founder, the vice president, they're not all skipping to work, jumping out of bed like, we solved all the problems in the world. We're making such an impact. These water bottles, right? I'm sure sometimes in meetings, when they look through numbers and they see things, and oh, wow, we really are. And we do a cool give back program, and our water bottles actually are helping people around the world. It's like, wow, we're making a difference. But if you think for one moment that Lauren and myself and Mike and Amanda and our core team and our coaches, if we show up every day and we're like, yippity doo dah, like, here we go, another team meeting, like, let me write an email. No, of course not. There's so many things that I do in the business on a day-to-day that I don't love every minute of it. Lauren right now is helping plan out our elite retreat, or our elite mastermind gals, that they get 3 retreats a year. Do you know how annoying it is to call 50 hotels in New York City to get a room block and get the best rate? She's not jumping out of bed in the morning like, I get to call all these hotels and compare who gives me the best rate. But what we can get behind is what that experience will be. We can get behind the transformations that are going to happen in that weekend in New York City when she has figured out the hotel. Like, we can get behind the conversations that are going to happen in the room. You get behind the vision, as Lauren just said. Like, when we're creating the club, do you know how many hours I've spent behind the computer already? Like, coming up with copy and writing messaging and figuring out the sales page and editing the sales page and writing emails. That stuff isn't always fun, but when I can sit there and go, gosh, we're going to have like hundreds of people inside of this membership that they're going to be able to connect with each other. They're going to be collaborating. Their income is going to go through the roof. They're going to get on each other's podcasts. They're going to be doing all this cool stuff. I get to coach these people. I get to help them in their businesses. Like, that's the part that I'm like, yes, but your business as a whole does not exist to entertain you. And that's where I get funky about the whole passion thing. It's like, get a hobby, go to dance class, like, learn how to macrame, like that's where it's like, no, go get a hobby, do other things outside of your business, because your business, and this again is for everybody, is no different than a job. It's just you're creating it. So there's no ceiling, there's no cap. It's like being an entrepreneur, you're hopefully likely, if you're actually an entrepreneur building like a team, we get to provide jobs for other people. Lauren coming to work every day is no different than Lauren working for Bank of XYZ. It's a job. She's an employee, right? Like she comes to work, she has things to do. It's not always going to be fun and rainbows and butterflies, but it's like, that's why the company exists. The business exists to solve problems for you and to provide jobs for other people. So it's no different than you going to your regular job. But what is different is a lot of us in our 9-to-5 jobs, we're unhappy. And the funny thing is, people in their 9-to-5 jobs will say things like, well, but at least I have this like work-life balance. And it's like, hold on, going to a place for 40 hours a week that you don't enjoy, living for the weekends, having Sunday scaries is now balance. It's like, no. So for me, I would rather do it this way. I would rather be the risk adverse person, take the chances, build the business, put myself out there so that I can also call the shots. But I still go to work every day. Like I still go down to my office. Maybe I'm in leggings, but like I still go to my office and I still do the things that I have to do for work. So that's the tangent that I'm going to give y'all about passion, right? Because people they get triggered sometimes. They're like, oh, well, if you're not passionate about your business, it's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm passionate about my purpose. I'm passionate about our give back and the school that we built in Africa, like the lives that we change. But this isn't my hobby. I do other things to light my soul on fire. It's like I go other places, even my workout every day. That like ignites that's how I get into state. I don't always want to do the workout, but I know what it does for me mentally and physically. So I do it. I do the meditation. I do the journaling. I go for the dog walk. I see a therapist. It's like I do the things that I need to do to get me into the state to make sure that I am showing up the way that I need to show up with my cup full. But this is a job. It's a really cool one, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, which is why I'm so excited to help people do it. Like I get to work with my husband, Lauren, like the relationships that we have, we can work from anywhere. She flies up and stays with us for like a week at a time, usually once a year or so. And we like get to do all these cool planning sessions on whiteboard papers. I have an idea. I just put it out on the internet with my fat thumbs, and all of a sudden y'all appear from around the world. Like this is such a cool job, but soul job. Yeah.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you. I hope I didn't fumble my words there or anything. I appreciate you talking.
I appreciate you.
And yeah, I know that something's needed headspace wise or what have you. I felt something was missing. So I'm thankful for the clarity that you've given too. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.